Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are all doing well. Today's topic of discussion, I'd like to talk about the 1909 VDB Lincoln Cent. Some people call them wheat pennies. Technically, they should be called wheat cents or Lincoln cents, right? And you can see we got three good examples right here. I picked these up just recently. We got two that are graded by PCGS at a mint state 66 red, and then we have one that's a 64 red. Now, you're going to notice a little bit of different color in these two right here, even though they're both graded red. And that could be for a number of reasons. I'll show these real quick. We'll take a further look at them, in a little bit. Do I agree with the grade? In my opinion, I have more experience with Morgan dollars and a couple other coins than I do with Lincoln cents, because once you get past like a 63, a 64, I think it's really hard to judge or grade a Lincoln cent, in my opinion. Same thing with Buffalo nickels, because it's just like you really got to look at maybe like a magnifying glass and then mark on a sheet. Like imagine having like a little sheet of a picture of a Lincoln cent, right? And it's just a piece of paper, so you could draw on it. Be like, oh, I marked a spot there, I marked a spot here. Okay, that's two, that's three spots. All right, that's a 66, right? And then you also got to look at this, at how well the strike was, right? So I don't know. These grades are probably good. Granted, I have some that are raw that look even better than this, so it's like, oh, why don't I go send it in? Which maybe I will someday. But I'm just showing you some graded examples right here. Now, these two different colors, obviously this is what everyone knows to be like the nice red color, So in grading, for some coins, you get what's known as red, brown, and brown, right? The red's going to be more expensive and, more collectible. I try to collect red coins unless it's like a crazy rare one. Like if this was a 1909 SVDB, if this was this high of a grade in red, it would be worth thousands of dollars, So I really like this coin. It's one of my preferred coins to collect. Why did I buy three of them? Because I bought them all from the same dealer on eBay who had them up for bid, and I won, I think, this one first, but I'm like, okay, well, I really want to win the nicer one, this one, so I got this. And I think this looks like this color. Maybe years ago when they graded it, it looked like this, and then maybe depending on how it was stored or the kind of light that was hitting it, maybe this is toned this way over the past years since it's been in this slab. Or maybe another reason is they just see it as like a different kind of red, because it doesn't have like that matte glossiness or like that circulated look to where it's quite brown, or even red brown. So they still see it as a red example. Or maybe it did look like this and it was toned, over time after it was graded, and so it's this color now. Regardless, it says 66 red on it, so that's the grade and the color that you can go with if you were to resell it or grade it and try to complete a set saying, oh, I have above 65s or 66s, all reds, right? Well, you got it. They marked it, These things aren't technically airtight, so, if I was to leave this underwater or something like that, it could damage it. I don't think that's not what's going on here, because the case looks fine to me. When I bought these, actually, they had a bunch of sticky residue, and they had stickers on the back of it from, looks like, previous auctions. And I went and used alcohol, rubbing alcohol to get all that off. Never use acetone. Don't ever use acetone. It'll deteriorate the case, all right? But yeah, so this is one of my favorite coins to collect. Here, I'll show you the 64 brown. I guess you could see why it's, or not brown, 64 red. You could see, I guess, maybe a few markings on here compared to the other. Once again, if it's a PCGS coin, make sure it's got their little like logo down here. And then, of course, you could always look up the numbers on their website, so you're not getting ripped off. Show you these two coins side by side. They're nice coins. They're fun to collect. I think every coin collector should have a 1909 VDB of some sort. You could find ungraded ones, brown, in really, much less condition, maybe like extra fine 45 AU for like 10 to 20 bucks on eBay. You can even find, if you find a good one and the bid's ending at a weird hour, in the middle of the night on like a Tuesday, and it's like a red example, like one of these, maybe you can get it for like 20, 30 bucks. Go send it to PCGS and it becomes worth a little over 100 bucks if it gets, this grade, 64 red. You can find them at coin shows all day for 20 to 30 bucks, and they might grade a 66 red, making it like a $500 coin. On the PCGS price guide, these two coins are worth $500, right? I didn't pay that for these because there's a difference between price guide, gray sheet, and eBay, past sold auctions, or what people are willing to pay, right, for a coin. So if I wanted to go ahead and list this for $500 on eBay, yeah, I wouldn't really be wrong in doing so. And then you're never really wrong in doing so because you own the coin. It's up to the sell. If someone owns something, it's up to them for what they want to sell it for, and it's up to the buyer of what they want to pay for it. That determines like the market value, right? So if I want to post this for $600, because I see 66 reds on eBay that some people post them for $1,000. Maybe they don't agree with their grade. Maybe they think it's a 67, or maybe if it's an old green holder, right, which kind of adds a little bit of value to it. And maybe they're thinking, they graded coins a lot harder back then, so maybe this is a 67 red. I'm saying not for this one, but if someone had that. So it's all things to take into consideration. I'll show you these ones again. Like I said, these are one of my favorite coins to collect. I'm probably going to sell the one on the left and the one on the right. And I'm going to keep this 66 red right here in the middle for my personal collection. And then if anyone ever wants to buy one of these, probably price them reasonably out. I just wanted to get one of the 66 reds, and I ended up winning this one first. And then I'm like, okay, well, I really want this one because that's like the nicer of the two. And I paid a little bit more for this one than I did for this. I think they were a fair price by the time the bid ended. And maybe you guys have watched the video this far and you're like, oh, well, why is it the VDB? Because you can see right down here, it has the designer's initials. Now that's what they are. Look, you can see a little mark right there on the coin. That's not on the case. So that's like the only mark I've seen on the reverse. See a little mark right there. Let's look at this one. Yeah, these cases are a little bit scratchy too. Of course, these cases are probably a little bit old, not graded too recent. After all, actually, when I bought these, you know how I said they had a little sticker on there from like a previous auction? I think they were dated like from 03 or something like that, or like 10 to 20 years ago. So they had these, I think, have been graded for a while. But honestly, I think this, darker red looking one, honestly might be it looks better than this one actually, besides the color. I mean, on this one you saw those two noticeable little scratches right there, right? One right here. The other one right there. I mean, they stick out, so it's hard to hide those. And in this one, you guys see any scratches that kind of stick out? I know as you see all the scratches on the case and the smudges on the case. Well, thanks to all the previous handlers, that's what you're left with. But I mean, they look pretty. This looks pretty clean. Let's look at the 64 red. This one just has a few little dots, like some carbon spotting right here. Try and get a little closer look. Up there. So I guess that takes away some of the eye appeal. Is there another scratch down there in a similar spot? Okay. Few little spots up there. So I get it. 64 red. I can't complain about it. And yeah, I think on the PCGS website, this is valued around like $130, give or take a little bit. And then yeah, these are each worth around $500. And I'm not sure what the gray sheet price is for these. I'm not a subscription online to them, and I don't have any like the past little gray sheet magazines I bought. And another thing with my, with collecting coins and slabs, please put them in little baggies like this. I actually just picked up another 100 because, I store coins like this, I think it's a really good idea. The bag nearly fits perfectly in these, right? And that way when you have them all together, they're not rubbing around. And then so when you go to look at it, you're getting all these smudges and scratches on the case, right? It's a good little trick. You can get these at Walmart for like $3, not even 100 little baggies, right? And then it's good too if you ship a coin. You could put it in here as a little layer of protection. And then say, you know, maybe you're in a state like Florida where unfortunately it floods, right? And you have these little baggies, and maybe these are in a safe or something like that. Well, maybe this little baggie will prevent it from water leaking through, right? So it's an extra layer of protection. That's what I really like about these. And in case you don't have a red book and you want to pause the video, I'm going to take my coin off, or my phone off the stand. Here's a little bit of information about the Lincoln wheat cent. Started in 1909, and then of course you had the designer. He put his initials on the back side of it, and then halfway through they took it off when they realized what he was doing. So designer Victor D. Brenner. Alright, and it's, you know, 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Right? Here it is, and they actually, I'm pretty sure they do have a proof for these, but I'm pretty sure they're like ungodly expensive. And once again, use the red book as more of a reference guide of just information, right? When it comes to prices, I wouldn't necessarily go off the red book. If you want to see a good example of why you shouldn't, all right, here is a steel cent, and it says in Mint State 65 a steel cent is worth over $1,000. This might have just been an error, but this isn't true. No one's paying you $1,000 for a Mint State 65 steel cent, because I have them and I paid like $20, $30 for them. Grade of INGC and a 65 and even some 66s. So yeah, just a little heads up, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you guys like collecting this coin. I personally love collecting this coin, and the one on the left, one on the right, I'll probably put up for sale somewhere, eBay or something like that, or maybe I'll just take it to the coin shop and see what he offers and see if, you know, I can make a couple bucks profit. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope you guys have a good holiday. Have a good Christmas.